there was a wife who was working and husband was at home. So wife called up and checked, husband, where are you? He said, I am at home. She said, can you switch on the mixie? He said, yeah. So he switches on the mixie and it goes drrrr. He said, okay, you are at home. And another day she calls up and they says, husband, where are you? He says, I am at home only. He said, can you switch on the mixie again? And then he switches on. They said, okay, no, I just wanted to check. Okay, love, thank you, all that. And third day she gets really, doubtful. She, without telling, comes home. And then son is there. Said, where is Appa? He said, Appa is not here. Where did he go? I don't know. Every day he takes the mixie and goes somewhere. Once you are in a perfection space, always coming first, it's actually a hypnotic trance. If they put 100 out of 100 and you feel, okay, I've arrived. Okay, I have 90 plus, no, I'm there. But who said you got 90 is 90? It's not so. There's so many things, after the school, after the college, yeah. So for us, if you fail a little bit, then it is good, because when you fail, you will not be bothered by it. So in fact, it is a conditioning process for the industries. Where you come out and you say, who are you? I am an engineer. Who are you? I am a software guy. Who are you? I am so and so. This is what we learn. And then we don't want to dream beyond that. Swami was telling me about injection. He said, why is injection the right mechanism? He was asking. According to Ayurveda, not. So why? Because we are vaccinating through injection, we are putting all these things. He says injection should not go with the body. In Ayurveda, you don't have any injection. Why? Because this is your main entry and your whole defense system is inside. If something is coming, it will weigh that. If it is not good, it will not let it go inside it. It will push it away. Only the good things will be taken in. So the first protective environment is here. Okay. So when you are putting something inside, if it is useful for the body will assimilate and take it into all parts of the body. But what happens with allopathy is, they put in the test tube. They put this into the blood and it breaks that. But when they put it in the mouth, that is not going to the blood. It is going to your excreta. None of the allopathic drugs are tested on women. It is all tested on men. So when they approve it, when they go for the clinical trial and everything, it is always tested on men. It is not tested on women. So which means men are much more going to be safer, because everything is worked out according to their
test. Medicines for women?
The same medicines are given to women.
That is what he is telling, right?
Yeah, the same medicines are given to women. And whatever happens with the women, nobody has any guarantee.
And their physiology is different.
The reason why they are not testing, why are they not testing it on women? And this guy was in a shock, because he was such a very sensitive guy. Okay. So, and then he got disoriented completely. And then we were bringing him to the trainings and we were doing everything possible to him. And then after a few years, he got back to normalcy. And then after a few years, couple of years, he married again. Okay. Now again he is going to have a child. Okay. So, and then he called me up. He said, the doctor is saying IVF. I said, 3 months we got married. He said, IVF? I said, why the hell did you go to the doctor? So now they are happy, they are having a good time, and any moment anything can happen. So the disease is out of their minds. But the problem is, he has manifested it once. The more, he wanted to go and not avoid it, he is against creating it again with his own way. So sometimes you just have to stop. So, no, I have to go to this doctor. No, I have to go to that doctor. This doctor, this doctor. So anyway, but this is what we don't allow in schools.
Storytelling?
No, dream. So, hey, where are you looking? Look here. Be attentive.
We should introduce the subject, daydreaming.
I was told by an American tribal native lady. She said the schools that she worked with in US, the child is looking like that when you are teaching something. The teacher will, without disturbing the child, will go to the child slowly nearby and in a very mild voice, who has come? She will say, the little cat. What is the cat doing?
The
So, that was now we try to say, we did a program on NLP and live music. So, this hypnotherapist is going to come. She was teaching us a technique of creative visualization in trance, where they put the music and you slowly go down. It's very good for pregnancy, by the way. So, one of the key distinctions of what NLP brings, and when we study people who dream, some people dream freely. Some people dream. Some people dream with a problem. So, what is the difference? Yeah, when I was young, I used to dream. After the school, go back to my little garden. My mother will be working in the kitchen, and I used to keep telling stories. Mm-hmm. And my mother used to, even today, she used to recall that and laugh at me. He'll say, there will be 3D digital sound. Bruce Lee will come and give
sound effects.
But now when I look back, it has some relevance to my life. Because in my stories, when I used to tell on my own, I used to make these kind of stories. I will bring Superman, Bruce Lee, He-Man, Rajinikanth, all these people together and make a fight with, some villains. So somehow I kept, that will be very powerful and exciting for me, And now I'm bringing all the trainers together. I know we have many examples for dreams. What is that lady name? J.K. Rowling. She didn't have food to eat. She had a baby to feed. She had no money. She was going in the train as a single mother. What best can she dream? There is no use. There is no use. She still dreamt. She borrowed the pen and started writing because she didn't have a pen, because the dream was flowing in. Here what happens, just to say further into it, whenever the student, even if the student is standing up, he puts his head down,
Right.
And that is the, rhythm of the country. Like whenever a student is ready, the teacher is ready. So the moment his head is down, the moment so there's nothing about me, it's about the space. Like anybody who is going to come and share something, if you put our head down, then we learn, then we get something. Even if the best teacher comes and you are sitting, okay, what is he going to say? Everything will go this way, that way. Anyway, so thank you for that. Very good. So so we'll come back to the start. So we'll have a few words from each one of you. So thank you for coming, because this is one of my dreams. So I've been working on this for the last 1 year. Because then I'm so proud to tell people I don't do courses in cities, because nature is much more interesting and stuff. But now I have to come back to city and live, So what do? Should I go back to hotel and again redo the same thing? Or should I have my own, what you want, can you have it, So I built this place where we have our own kitchens and our own spaces where we could do this and, training environment. So finally it has all come into shape, and you all come. So without you all I can't do anything, So that's, thank you for all your trust in the 6 days, and I'm also looking forward to uncovering every day and seeing layers of our own personalities. This will be like that. She will turn this. Every day she will be correcting the house things, putting it into places, and that will be her life, So anyway, so this kind of imbalances, best is to, that imbalances shows up in children, because there's so much that they want to do in life. So in some ways, if you tag them along in business, then obviously you have trouble all the way. There was a wife who was working, and husband was at home. So wife called up and checked, husband, where are you? He said, I am at home. She said, can you switch on the mixie? He said, yeah. So he switches on the mixie and it goes drrrr. He said, okay, you are at home. And another day she calls him, And they says, husband, where are you? He says, I am at home only. He said, can you switch on the mixie again? And then he switches on. They said, okay, no, I just wanted to check. Okay, love, thank you, all that. And third day she gets really, doubtful. She, without telling, comes home. And then son is there. He said, where is Appa? He said, Appa is not here. Where did he go? I don't know. Every day he takes the mixie and goes somewhere. Anyway, so these sort of I don't know who is intelligent enough, She suspects because of this only. So anyway, so so we can avoid these sort of situations when people are together, There was a husband who was always traveling. He never came back. So his wife was always, because he never came, she had multiple wives. So she had many boyfriends and none of them the husband knew. One day suddenly the husband showed up and she was like, oh yes, please come. And they had a good time, they had a good sleep and they enjoyed the night and they were in the half trance. Midnight, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, somebody knocks the door and suddenly the husband wakes up. The wife just gets a jerk and sits up and then says, who is this? The wife says, in trance, maybe my husband. The husband hurriedly wakes up, picks up his clothes, opens the window, jumps and runs away. Okay, this is a Osho story, okay. So he says most of the successful marriages are like this. Because if you don't work together, then the gap becomes more, So then the understanding becomes a trouble, So I try to keep them alongside. I mean, if you want to preach something, first you have to try it, And then obviously it is not easy. But we learn together, So rather than you go, work, you tell somebody, you have to work like this. What are you doing? You're giving your wisdom of your experience to somebody. You don't shout at them. Even if they do 10 times, you are coming back and saying, come on, you have to now get it up. But you can do the same thing with your own people, with little more, and that is much more meaningful, Anyway, so these are all some of my thoughts. It may not be applicable for everybody, but in each place you can do something or other, So thank you. So we'll see what all happens with the dog around, with the daughter around, So real life, Okay. So I had no porter there, but I had to carry this, and I was in a hurry to catch another train. So I was in a hurry. So I waited for some time, but nobody was there. So I tried to lift 2 bags, keep it in the front, and come back, with little yardstick. I was trying to move like this. There was one taxi guy who came. He said, you want a taxi? I said, I want a taxi, but I want to go to this place. He said, I have an auto. Can I drop you from here to there through auto only? It is about 50 kilometers, And he was obviously wanting to sell me the auto ride. I said, by auto I am never going to catch the train, and also bypass, why do you want to go in auto? So he was negotiating, and I was carrying this bag. He never picked up one bag. So if I had said yes, okay, he would have picked up a couple. He said, okay, so anyway you're going to go to the taxi, so I will call up a taxi. So then finally I said, no, I will find a taxi, but he called up, and till the last point I only lifted these 4 bags and came, and after the taxi guy came, he took and kept it, and I said, okay, and I left. But I was wanting to say, at the end of it, it doesn't matter what you are. You could say, I am a famous NLP trainer, please lift my bags. It doesn't matter for it. It's almost like, okay, so it's like you don't deserve any help, You're going critically, you're not believing my auto, right? So I'm just saying, so this fantasy all goes away when you are walking in some reality. So anyway, so that is how it is.
Okay, you always used to smile like this, or after NLP you
I went for a course now.
Oh, smile.
Yeah. Just joking. I was always smiling, and now I'm becoming more conscious because everybody is saying this. Everybody is saying this, you're smiling nice, smiling nice. And I was like, oh my God,
The technique in NLP also, anchoring.
Yes.
We used to do this thing like that.
Yes.
Something like that. We used to take anchor or some good memories. Whenever they pass it, they smile.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah, so this is all before NLP only.
Before NLP.
Yeah, all smile is all before NLP.
The credit doesn't go to NLP, it goes to genetically.
It goes to our society. Maybe, I don't know, it got polished with NLP because we lost so much inside the training.
Polished.
It got polished here. The Swami who is going to come, he is also a big storyteller. Okay. Sometimes we go on a jeep ride. He will tell a story, I will tell a story. I will tell a story, he will tell a story, So there will be story, and so much laughter, So somehow maybe it has got polished with that kind of everybody, wherever we go.
It's very infectious actually.
Yeah. So thank you. Now they take all these videos, so they watch, I say, I smile like this, Okay. Yeah. There is one thing that we say in Tamil Nadu. I mean, today we know more about, we don't know more about our state, we don't know about other state also. But there is so much available in other states,
Yeah.
So in Tamil Nadu, all the words, in most of the South Indian languages, I don't know, North Indian also, in regional languages, you will not need an explanation for a word, because the word itself will be an explanation for the meaning. Okay. So likewise, most of the word, if you go and check, you will immediately know what it means. You don't need, like if you say photosynthesis, then you need to have the definition to understand that term. You can see many such words in English, because of which we need to know what it is. Otherwise we speak, we don't know what you're speaking. But in regional languages, most of the times you will be able to talk in that way. And most of like for example, radio. In Tamil we call it as Vanoli. So what is Vanoli? Van is sky, Oli is sound. So the sound that is travelling through sky. That is two words. And Tolaikachi, that is television. So what is Tolaikachi? Tolai means distance, Kachi means see. So you can see things which are in a distance. Self-explanatory, so like that. So like that, if you take money, they have a word for it. So that gives the essence of money. It is called a selvam. The root word is sell. In Tamil, sell means to go. So what they say is, the nature of money is to go. So it will come, it will go. So anyway, so the man who tries to hold it, usually he can hold it till his death, and then it will go.
The man will go.
Man will go and money will go to somebody.
Money will get inside. Man will go.
Anyway, so there was this guy who spoke, Anil, this Ambani, Mukesh Ambani. His house was about so many crores, in the middle of the city, so many floors. Antila. There was one trainer who was talking, and then I was listening to him. So that was also in Pune. So he was telling, he thinks that he is living in that big home, but poor guy, he didn't realize that all of us live inside our body. So if you don't have a proper body, whether you are in a 65 crore house or a 6 crore house or on a road, it doesn't matter. You may think the money is there, but actually it will upset your own system, and then it will go. So to be able to relate to that and say, and there is a Kabir ki dohe, because so now what is your goal? He says limitless. So now where do we want to go? And this Kabir, he says, when you ask the same question, what do you want? What do you want? He says, I want so much wealth that which will not keep me hungry, and that which will not let people who come to me be hungry. And that much I need every day.
That is कि साईं इतना दीजिए जामे को तो समाए मैं भी भूखा ना रहा साधु ना भूखा जाए.
Yeah, sadhana bhuka jaya. Because he says more than that is of no use.
That's true.
But every day if I can get it. So there were people who were owning 7 kingdoms, sitting in his leg, and they said, we are ready to give anything, to you. But he finally, till the last moment, he was weaving his sari. And then he will say, whoever buys it, that day's food will come. He said, that is happy. I know, I'm fine, gone with that. So anyway, because how much ever money you have, you can't keep your rest. You can't be peaceful. You have to protect it. And when you have money, there are more fake people around you. There are more people looking into you, into your eyes, into your wealth. So you will have to be much more careful. Anyway, so good. So I'm just saying that. So somewhere, let's see how. One is the goal, which is what we want. The other one is, in this situation, what do you want? Like for me, I can tell you, right now you need a lot of energy. You need a lot of calmness. You need a lot of resources. You need a lot of helping hands. You need a lot of healing for yourself and your family. So you need a lot of awareness on how to break these patterns and get back to life. Usually, if the child is not doing good in school, I think it is a good sign.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign. Because he's not fitting into the system of race.
Very good.
System of race.
Okay. Rat race.
Because he has to go and get the first, then only he will get the job. So people, whether you understand or not, they will learn. So people who are good at that will get good grades. So if somebody is revolting against it continuously,
but Gauri is doing very good.
Okay, so then you have a different Ori then.
Exceptionally very, very good.
Very good.
He is not doing well.
Yeah. But when it comes to life, this is okay, school. But when it comes to life, we'll have to see. Because the man who has already fought with failure, he will be not bogged down by any failure.
Okay.
He will be much more practical. The person who has not failed at all, suddenly to come back and
Settle down.
it's like, okay, you become diabetic. Like, what? No, you're first in diabetic, Okay, okay, So they can't accept it initially. Because, I'm just meaning, that is an example.
Exactly.
But for her to come back, because once you are in a perfection space, always coming first, it's actually a hypnotic trance. If they put 100 out of 100 and you feel, okay, I've arrived. Okay, I have 90 plus, now I'm there. But who said you got 90 is 90? It's not so. There's so many things, after the school, after the college, Yeah. So for us, if you fail a little bit, then it is good, because when you fail, you will not be bothered by it. In my college, I got all grades. Yes, also I got. U also I got. So you have all experiences, So you can't really. You are confused. Am I a genius or am I an idiot? Whether both ways, some subjects are saying you are good, you are balanced, all that. So
Because
that
you got all the grades, that's why you are a mentor.
yeah.
Same with me. I used to say in my class, because I got always the average marks. That's why I became a teacher.
Anyway, so I'm just saying. So we always like to go by the Buddha. Go in the middle. Lower down is also trouble. Higher is also trouble. Somewhere in the middle is fine. If the essence of our life, essence of this universe, if it was all available, if that was meant to be that you get the grade and you get moksha, then we can be happy. But they say it has nothing to do with moksha. So in fact, it is a conditioning process for the industries. Where you come out and you say, who are you? I am an engineer. Who are you? I am a software guy. Who are you? I am so and so. This is what we learn. And then we don't want to dream beyond that. We are almost like, even if the software guy, there was somebody who spoke to me on the phone. They had the husband had a back problem. And then he had a surgery and hospitalized, bedridden and all that. He was a software engineer. So I asked, after all this, what is he doing? He said, no, he works from home. I said, so he doesn't have any idea of getting out of the back problem. He said, but he loves his profession. He's a software guy. I said, he needs to become a yoga teacher. Then there is some scope for life. Anyway, so now he's registered to a yoga course. I said, you can do software, but after you capture your body. So you cannot, die. He's not even had the child, still. But even before that, he's ill. So then, the first innings itself, all wickets are down. Then what about the second wicket? Yeah, declared. So, so when we go through all these life stories and then we come back to NLP and say, okay, what can we do to support these people? Now we look around and then I see, where do I run? When I got my throat problem, the doctor said, change your profession. I was like, Arey yaar, I've not even got married and just now I finished my trainer training after going to all these countries and trying so much risky life. And you are saying change your profession because teaching is not going to work. So what do? Nothing could be solved. Going to help it. 6 months, nothing happened. Then finally, accidentally, I met this monk, and he gave some medicines. And 1 month, through 2-3 days, I was better. And 1 month, 60% problem was over. I was struggling for more than 7-8 months. No talk. So it's terrible. And if you get angry, even off. Like you go to the hotel and the server gives something and say, hey, finish. 2 days you can't talk. So it's almost like you're already frustrated and you should not get angry. So it's like you get mad, literally. So, but this medicines worked. Then, so what NLP taught me is that if you believe in the experience, you have to drop your conditioning. If you believe in the conditioning, you will have to drop the experience.
That's true, very much true.
So for me, I got this medicine, and it was not at all fitting with my conditioning. It was not at all fitting with my graduation. Because the first thing I will look is for ISI, manufacturing expiry. All his medicine which he gave never had an expiry date and never had any seal. And worst of the things, some things if you touch it is sticky. And first time I am looking at legium, in the land of legiums, I am wondering what is this. So it's almost like a new breed. Okay, and they're in the same country. Now I am suspecting, who are you? How are you going to give this to me? So anyway, I didn't try it only in the first few days. I just took it. That time, that medicine that he gave me was only 100 rupees. My problem is worth so much. For consultation only, I gave 500 every time in Delhi, Gangaram. So just with 100 rupees, what is going to happen? That is how our processing works,
Exactly.
So it is some cheap quality stuff,
The low cost will also have a.
So there was one oil he gave which was smelling good. So I put it. And then in the training I was speaking better. I thought my father was there in the training. He told Ashok, first day compared to second day your speech was better. I said, how come? It's never happened. I said, the only difference was that oil. And according to the doctor's analysis, the hair inside the throat has fallen down, has got damaged. That is why I am having difficulty in talking. So if I take oily food, that gets even more damaged. So my imagination is all the hairs are all, which are supposed to generate this voice, has gone down. We are immediately creating a video, And now this, I have not even put this oil inside. I put it here, and this is giving some relief. So now I am thinking, what do? I should either say, bang on, my conditioning says this oil is not working, I should throw it away. It is just a fantasy. Or I should say, whatever the story the doctor said is not working, throw it away. But I have already fallen in love with that story. I have already talked to so many people about it. So now how do I throw it away? Now then I have to change everything. So with NLP we say, go for a short experience. That's what NLP says. Because the experience will teach you. Go for a short experience. So I said, okay, off to the monk. His place was very like a workshop. It was medicine manufacturing, that, this root, some root if you touch it will be black on your hand. So it will be like his nails or all will be black. I'll say, Swami, what happened? He'll say, nothing, we were working with a poison. That is very, very strong. So sometimes it will create some black even if you touch it. So a lot of interesting stories, if you go into when you study, like now today they have this jallikattu. If you go anywhere and tell a fair bull will come and people will be surrounding it, anybody will believe. If you invite some college students to it, will they do it? City walas? No. So, but it is still happening. If you go down and see, still people are there, still people go into it and come back without trouble. So now they are trying to ban it, and then then after that people will never accept that it ever happened. They will say Jallikattu is a bull taming, so such things. So like that, temples exist, but we still don't know the technology, and we don't believe that we built it, And anyway, that stood the test of time. Like this, these medicines exist, but we still are not wanting to know and understand that these are possibly the effective medicines, So he will come, when you go into his logics, that is, it is not coming from study or anything, it is undoing you from very basic common sense. So the other day, I'm just telling you, Swami was telling me about injection. He said, why is injection the right mechanism? He was asking. According to Ayurveda, not. So why? Because we are vaccinating through injection, we are putting all these things. He says injection should not go with the body. In Ayurveda, you don't have any injection. Why? Because this is your main entry, and your whole defense system is inside. If something is coming, it will weigh that. If it is not good, it will not let it go inside it. It will push it away. Only the good things will be taken in. So the first protective environment is here. Okay. So when you are putting something inside, if it is useful for the body will assimilate and take it into all parts of the body. But what happens with allopathy is, they put in the test tube, they put this into the blood and it breaks that. But when they put it in the mouth, that is not going to the blood, it is going to your excreta. Because the body is rejecting it. The body is rejecting it because it says this is not good for your brain. It may be good for your nerve, but it is not good for your stomach, it is not good for your kidney. So the body's judgment arrives, throw him away. Now these people have to go and find something which has to be good for your nerve as well as for your brain as well as for your kidney. It will take years for them. Because that has to, that good quality of medicine for your knee should not affect your kidney. So they have to remove that part which is affecting the kidney. But our intelligent people, they say, evade this mechanism, put it in the blood directly. Now what will the body do? It will go and affect the kidney. So the body is thinking, Arey fool, I am here to protect you and you are fooling me. So you deserve only disease, what should I do? Go for another disease. So in cardiac, become a diabetic. Okay, go on. From diabetic, go to a kidney failure. Go on. But I have been blessed with such protective mechanism, but you are not making use of it. So if you take all the Ayurvedic medicine, it will still go through your main mechanism. It will still go and hit your kidney. It will still go and hit your this, but the body will allow it. I don't know when allopathy is going to come to that level. Maybe it will require another thousands of years. It may be so much time. But that is why our Veda people said there is nothing more. We have solved the puzzle of this earth. They said all knowledge is finished. There is nothing more available for them. All the governing philosophies of God. But anyway, so like this, when you go through this logic and then you evaluate, okay, what is it? Then you understand. So there was this book about pharma. The pharmacist wrote this book. And he wrote in Tamil, because a lot of good books come in regional language. Because we, especially in our country, because our people have very high wise people in regional language. So the book name is in Tamil, Marundu Vaanga Polama, Pogaringla. So the translation is, are you going to buy medicines? And then it talks about how medicines are manufactured, how to use allopathy medicine. That is what is the entire crux. How to not misuse it, because if you misuse it, you have problem. So they talk about many things, and maybe because one item is related to women. I'll tell you that also. I don't know if many people know it or don't know it. None of the allopathic drugs are tested on women. It is all tested on men. So when they approve it, when they go for the clinical trial and everything, it is always tested on men. It is not tested on women. So which means men are much more going to be safer, because everything is worked out according to their
test after test. Like medicines for women.
The same medicines are given to women.
That is what is telling, right?
Yeah, the same medicines are given to women, and whatever happens with the women, nobody has any guarantee.
And their physiology is different.
The reason why they are not testing, why are they not testing it on women? Because the women's hormonal changes are so much that they can't come to a standardized conclusion.
Every 15 days they will go through with the hormonal change.
So the medicine is, they can't rely upon that.
Right.
So the man writes in the book that any woman who takes it, we have to see what happens with that woman. You know, but for the men it is okay.
Even with every allopathy medicine is like, test, operate, test. If it fits, it will suit your body. Else they'll write some other medicine.
Yeah. So like this, he gave some many useful facts. So one of the key things he says, you go to a doctor and he gives you a medicine and you eat it, and you feel better. Next time the same problem, he says you should not go and buy the same medicine. This is a common mistake that everybody does. Okay, he explains why. He says when your body, how the medicine is made, okay, they see your acidity is high in your body. They take an element and say, okay, if this is matching alkalinity, then you put it in your body, it becomes, it neutralizes. That is how the medicine is made. So he says the medicine to work, the duration of your intake matters. The amount of intake matters. The frequency of intake matters. All this have to be in proper proportion according to the strength of the disease. Because if your body is 50% acidic and you are giving 80% alkaline nature medicine to you, then your body will become 30% on the other side. That is also a disease. Okay, so he explains saying that, yeah, so he says when the doctor says you have to take it for 1 week, you have to take it only for 1 week, because after 1 week that medicine will kill you. If you again, when you come back and if you take the same proportion, if you again take the same proportion, he says if the medicine is lesser, stronger compared to the disease will kill you. If it is higher than the disease, the medicine will kill you. So you have only two choices: die by the medicine, die by the disease. But if you stop exactly on what his conclusion is about your body, then you are safe. In that moment it will work. So he says you never go and repeat, because when you repeat again and again, this not only kills you, this also will lose the power to treat your body. So now you need another medicine. So it was a very nice book with all tidbits on he said as a pharmacist I know all this, but none of our people know. So he was giving how to use allopathy. That is what is his essence. So it's not criticizing allopathy, but he was saying by misusing it, you are complaining it, because this is the most effective way to cure a problem in a single day, headache and this and that. But if you misuse it, then you are going to become a patient. So anyway, so these are some ideas. So this whole conditioning, because we read about amoebas, we read about science. So whenever we see kashayams and legumes, we say, what is this? How is this? Will this attack the this, that? We go from that analysis. So I said, okay, after learning all NLP and teaching everybody, don't go by your thinking, go by experience, go by experience, go by experience. I said, okay, I will go by experience, and I went to this monk, and then I stayed in his place. Okay, and it was all workshop kind of thing, and various other things were going on. And first day I go and they gave me a mat. Now it is better. You will get pillows. But at the time when I went, there was only mat. And I said, what about pillow? Because I've never slept without a pillow. So the disciple, the night, 10 o'clock I tried to sleep, I couldn't. So 10 o'clock I go, and then I see this disciple still awake and is about to sleep. I say, what about pillow? He said, pillow will, strain your neck. Oh, so if you sleep without it, it will be better. I said, okay. Till 2 o'clock I couldn't sleep, because we are all learned to sleep straining our neck. That is the way. So we are not, you see, if your neck is like this, it is normal. If it is like this, you are strained a little bit, So for me to remove pillow was a big strain now. Yeah, So after quite a bit of time, it went away. But anyway, so it was a hard experience. The first day I couldn't sleep in the ashram. I could have very easily said, "Why go to hell," and walked out. Give me my pillow. But I had to, So slowly, when you take some beating left and right, your body comes in order. You're feeling good. Your body is nice, but your mind is not in order when you go to the prolonged stay in the ashram, because so many concepts are crashing down. That you have learned, and you are saying that these are meaningless. We have been guardians of these concepts for time immemorial, So anyway, so I'm just saying, so the whole idea of NLP is that if you go by the thinking, your mind will trap you. it will make you look whatever is your fascination as a beautiful thing. But if you go by experience, like he was saying, I am no diabetic. It is an experience, because otherwise the test will show it. That he's got the sugar up, but he has done something, it has come down. We'll have to figure that out. Because whenever they say, I have done it in the thought, he thinks he has done it in the thought, but there could be more to it, or it could be a wrong diagnosis. If you go to allopathy, they will say it is a wrong diagnosis.
I have full file with me.
No, but you cannot talk like this.
Full file with me.
Yeah, but you cannot talk like this. If there is no polio in the country, you cannot report a polio. You can call it vaccine-induced polio, but we are polio-free.
You are absolutely right. But I am full of reports. Before coming over here,
There was a guy in Kerala who was able to treat rabies. He said rabies can be reversed. People said no. He said, give me a man who was like a dog, and he treated him for 1 year, and then he made him a proper guy, and he came back and said, now see what happened. The doctors came and looked at him and then said, there is no proof that he had rabies. So you are a fake guy.
4 or 5 reports in which
So I'm just saying, because this.
you absolutely mention it, the laboratory mention it,
Yeah.
2 or 3 laboratory mention it,
Yeah.
even the HB plus test mention it, and nowadays even all PP fasting normal.
So you could run a course on how to get into diabetes. You will have a big crowd. So we will say from NLP point, if you want to capture somebody's success, somebody's secret, don't ask them, because they will deposit all the knowledge on you.
Exactly, precisely.
Okay, they will deposit all the knowledge. So if he believes firmly in thought, he will talk about thought. But there is something that he is doing from morning to evening. That is what we have to figure out. What is he eating? What is he doing? Where is he sleeping? Yeah. So we say that, and then we have to educate him. Sir, because of this only you escape diabetes. What he is saying will have some clue, but there should be more clues than to it. So obviously thought may be one of the important area, one of the things. So because most of the times they themselves will not know what they are doing. But the key is the reports are showing this, and if you are diabetic, you cannot eat sugar and sweet and that and this. So the experience, he is able to have a different experience. So it's like, come on, now we have to follow him. We'll have to see what he orders in the hotel. Okay, so this way we experience, we model. Then we figure out. Like you send a diabetic to him and ask him to do whatever he does, and then 6 months later, 1 month later, we will see whether his count has come down. Then if it is true, then it should have come down. That's good. So okay, so where are we now? What's the time?
It's 1:20.
Okay, there was one small movie that I saw, a trailer. There is this new movie which is coming. It's got a lot of Hollywood awards. This international awards. What is that? Serpent, the shadow of the serpent. Something like that.
Is it the heroine Deepika?
No. This is a movie, documentary movie. They have taken about the Amazon forest from the perspective of the people who live in the forest. Okay, the name is, it ends with the serpent, the shadow of the serpent or something of the serpent. And they talk, that shows a small trailer. Okay, it's a very powerful movie, it seems. Okay, it's got so many awards. And in that trailer, they show the tribal talk. In the tribal talk, he says, you are broken when you do not have the, something like this. When you are broken when you lose the ability to dream. So the moment you dream, you are all healthy. You come back to life. So like that, the tribal people say. So if you are not able to dream, that is why we will make you dream. So because when the dream is there, that is when it energizes your body, your direction. So what we would say is that now I think you're going through this transition, because transitions are beautiful, because that is what makes another life in the same life. Otherwise, you will have lived with the same ego and would have been in that space.
Because my
So coming back to the short term, yeah, from the long term you will have to work on, but you'll have to accept also what is happening in terms of people and their diseases and whether that is going to take. So there are two roads. One is what you want to go. The other one is somewhere where you are taken. So sometimes if you are having a thought to go, so maybe I will just give you, because you are asking particularly this, we will talk about this little bit more from the NLP side, and then before we move on to the other spaces. Okay, I'll use this again. So when we say, we can say dream, we can say outcome. Okay. We can say outcome. And so I will tell you, there's some stories also. I had a friend, it was a sad story. He got married, and in a few years, his wife suicided. Okay, maybe within a year she suicided. And the reason why she suicided, because everybody had child, she didn't have child. Okay, and it was too early, come to a decision. And this guy was in a shock, because he was such a very sensitive guy. Okay, so and then he got disoriented completely. And then we were bringing him to the trainings, and we were doing everything possible to him. And then after a few years, he got back to normalcy. And then after a few years, couple of years, he married again. Okay. Now again he's going to have a child. Okay. So and then he called me up. He said, the doctor is saying IVF. I said, 3 months they got married. He said, IVF? I said, why the hell did you go to the doctor? He said, because I don't want to get it wrong this time. I scolded him. I said, can you drop everything and start fresh? So what is the urgency? Just 1 month. Why do you want to go and spoil her with all these medicines? And you know what he did? He just said, don't talk anything about child anymore. Huh? It should be my daughter. Nobody has this authority.
Papa, our lunch is ready.
Okay. You will come in few minutes. Okay?
3 minutes.
No, you have served it here?
Then we have kept it.
Okay, we will come now. Okay, we will come and have it hot. Okay, close it, man. So I told him, can you not start with everything fresh? So now I call him. He's happy. He said, we don't think about the child only. We just feel happy with each other. And whenever that happens, let it happen. We are not going to put any effort. Like jaisa hai, waisa hai. Now they are happy. They are having a good time, and any moment anything can happen. So the disease is out of their minds. But the problem is, he has manifested it once. The more, he wanted to go and not avoid it, he's against creating it again with his own way. So sometimes you just have to stop. So, no, I have to go to this doctor. No, I have to go to that doctor. This doctor, this doctor. I said, why you want to spoil the girl? She will at least sometime it will happen. So anyway, so then now he is happy. No more calls. He is by his own business. His wife is happy. Everybody is happy. So in some ways, what we say is that to be able to get this wrong imagination out of your body, out of your mind, that is very, very key. There was a man who was always thinking that with this story we'll go to lunch, okay, and then we'll come back and continue this. This guy was always having the fear of cat, because he always thought he was a rat. Okay, so many psychologists worked with him. They said, you are a human being. He'll say, no, I am a rat. Cat will attack me. He will not sleep. He will always be afraid. One world famous psychologist came. So he went to him. He said, okay, now I will take this as a challenge, and then I will solve him. So he got him, and then he did so many sessions with him, so many hypnosis, so many past lives, so many things he did, everything. And finally, he completely made him believe that he is a human being. Okay, he's done everything. So he says, finally, so now who are you? I am a human being. Are you still afraid of the cat? Why should I? said, I am a human being. The cat should be in fact afraid of me. He said, okay, now my phobia is over. Yeah, it's over. I said, okay, signed up. I said, okay, you can go now. You're cured. He went out, he opened the door, and then he said, sir, one doubt. He said, yes. Now I am pretty clear that I am not a rat. But does the cat know it? Okay. So how do you cure such people? Because the amount of hurt that has gone in is not so easy to wash it away. And that is what is creating the disease. That is what is creating this, manifesting this whole energy. Because that goes, the child will come. The moment you think you need some external help, the body is saying, wait, some external help is going to come. Let's see what that does. Then it doesn't happen. So anyway, so to be able to dream fresh, to be able to start as if this is your first day of your marriage, and to go for a honeymoon, to be in that space. And most importantly, there are so many imbalances with each one of us. If you can create some balance, the best way to create some balance is just to go and sit in the nature. The nature will do the job. You will automatically calm down. You go and leave him in the Himalayas, you will not be able to see him after a month. You will say, me? Like that? Who is that? No, I have always been very calm. Because he will not do anything, the nature will do. It will just, tease him with beautiful sunlight, sunsets and that and river and sound. He will almost be like charming. They always say, you can easily fool the people who live in the hills. Because they are the most sweetest people on earth. They will just fall for what you are saying. They will believe so much. Because nature, builds them up like that. Okay, so with these thoughts, we'll go for lunch. And then we'll come back again. Thank you.
Not really. Reading is also a skill.
Skill, yeah.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
You have to do it consciously.
Yeah. When I was young, I used to dream. After the school, go back to my little garden. My mother will be working in the kitchen, and I used to keep telling stories.
Wow.
And my mother used to, even today, she used to recall that and laugh at me. He'll say, there will be 3D digital sound. Bruce Lee will come and give
Sound effects.
But now when I look back, it has some relevance to my life. Because in my stories, when I used to tell on my own, I used to make these kind of stories. I will bring Superman, Bruce Lee, He-Man, Rajinikanth, all these people together and make a fight with some villains. So somehow I kept, that was very powerful and exciting for me, And now I'm bringing all the trainers together. So I think, okay, this is what I was doing when I was very young, The stories are slightly meaningful in some way, So anyway, my daughter now, she keeps dreaming, So if she gets into that mode, then we are free. And even if you want to call her for something, she'll say, no, the story is going very interesting, So anyway, but this is what we don't allow in schools.
Storytelling.
No, dream.
Dream.
So, hey, where are you looking? Look here. Be attentive.
We should introduce a subject, daydreaming. Yeah?
I was told by an American tribal native lady. She said the schools that she worked with in US, the child is looking like that when you are teaching something. The teacher will, without disturbing the child, will go to the child slowly nearby and in a very mild voice, who has come? She will say, the little cat. What is the cat doing? So would you want to take the cat to the garden? Go.
Very nice, yeah.
So they say, they used to have periods where they will say, the next half an hour, go talk to the trees and find out what they are doing. So each one will go and have a conversation with the tree. Anyway, so this is another way. As far as, where are you looking? Look here, stand up on the bench. Anyway, so this dreaming is such a natural process. when you are young. There is a story in Tamil film, two people who never passed school, who was always sitting in a tea shop and chit chatting without no job. They will be in lungi and they will be having a cup of chai as usual, passing comments about. And suddenly one guy will say, I also wish to become like a doctor. I also wish to become a doctor like my father. So second guy will say, hey, your father is a doctor? You never told me. You never told me. He said, hey, no, don't mistake. He also wanted to become a doctor. Like if I also wanted to become a doctor, So, we often put our dreams on our children, And then, like if my daughter comes and says she wants to teach, then it means that I have corrupted her enough. But in some ways it is good because she has some passport to go around in this world. Still she figures out what she wants, My father was a very good sales specialist. So automatically I became a sales specialist. Even before I entered school, college, all that. At that time I didn't know. Yes, my dear. It was a sneak peek, okay. So at that time I didn't know that my father was, it was his skills which I was thriving upon. I always thought, okay, the school is doing a good job, I am learning good things, like that. But it took a while to understand that, okay, it was what my father was doing that I am doing. Because that is what we have seen time, every day I used to go to the school and come and play in his shop. So I used to watch like how she is watching. I used to watch him talk to different people and then gather that wisdom and then let out those jokes and those things amongst my community. So I always believe, at least from my life, that if you have a good environment in your home, the child should grow up in that environment because she loves becoming the father. And when it is so, why do you want to push her somewhere else? There will be some day she will say, I'm so fed up of you. Push her out. Go and find your love, and enjoy it, But till that day, it is our, we have a chance, and when she comes and becomes so fond of us, we also become very confident, So anyway, so this ability to dream is art, is a way that some of us are good at it, some of us are not good at it. This Ramanujam, he used to solve all these brilliant questions. Like when you go and ask him, how did you solve diabetics? If he says, go read Bhagavad Gita, finished. They will say, he is not revealing the secret, he is pushing us into, because we will read the Bhagavad Gita switching on the serial. So the way he would read and the way we would read would be very different. So likewise, when many people went and asked Ramanujam how he was able to solve this impossible problems, he was selling something similar to like this, which had no relevance, for at least to the conscious level. He says, whenever I don't find a problem which is impossible to solve, I will take it to the Devi temple, which is in Namakkal. It's still there, it is written. Ramanujam used to come and sleep here to find answers for the problems. He used to say, whenever I don't have answer, I will come to the Devi temple and then I will sleep. And in my sleep, Devi will come and write the answer. And next day I will wake up and I will remember it and reproduce it. It's in Namakkal. Now it is famous for broiler eggs. So, that was now we try to say, we did a program on NLP and live music. So this hypnotherapist is going to come. She was teaching us a technique of creative visualization in trance, where they put the music and you slowly go down. It's very good for pregnancy, by the way. And then they play this live music and your mind is totally off. There was one guy, he said, I have never experienced zero thoughts in my life except today. So it was kind of, it arrested the entire mechanism of mind. So like that, we had this technique with Ramanujam's technique, it's creative visualization in trance. Like he goes to sleep and he visualizes and sees and comes back. So we can also do such things to, look at our own issues, what comes, because one is, we are all trained to use logic in a big way. Okay. So we are trained to use logic, but what about other faculties? You have intuition, you know. So such things are accessible only through another level, you know. So for that you will have to put your conscious mind to sleep, you know. So what is dreaming? So are we good in dreaming? So what dreams do you have? Visualization can take us to some places. Sometimes it can also help, be a hurdle. So sometimes you have to move into some other direction also. You know, that time you have to let go, you know. So sometimes the world is showing you where to visualize, where to go. Like for example, if you take, we took that place for the training hall. We invested so much, we prepared so much, we tried so many trainings. Okay, and the sound was not going down. So we wanted sound to go down. Then almost I was mentally fixed that maybe we'll have to invest a little more, or we have to accept the sound. And suddenly this house was empty for 6 months. And suddenly it's maybe 3-4 months at least. And suddenly I walked in the other day and I looked into it and I said, oh, this will make another training place. I said, okay, that will always be a place where we can go in for activities and stuff. So I took it up. So if I had fixed myself to that as a visualization, I don't think this setup I will somehow love. You know, suddenly we can shift there, come back, and have alternate space is nice, you know. And for hypnosis and stuff, this area is better than that, you know, because of the sound and some things like that. So sometimes, you know, there is already somebody visualization in our life. You know, visualization is happening. Somebody has put the visualization, and they are wanting us to take the right step. And we always say we want to go the left. So sometimes you will have to look and move according to the design that is happening. Sometimes you have to make the design. So these are all some of stuff. And this ability to dream is key. So now he says, I don't know what to dream, you know. So at that time the dream is going to be very easy. I don't know, we have many examples for dreams. What is that lady name? J.K. Rowling. She didn't have food to eat. She had a baby to feed. She had no money. She was going in the train as a single mother. What best can she dream? There is no use. There is no use. She still dreamt. She borrowed the pen and started writing because she didn't have a pen, because the dream was flowing in, you know. And for what reason? No publisher is waiting, but she writes a book. Why would somebody do that? If you are asking me for a delivery, I will prepare something. But even though you may not take a delivery, I am still preparing for it. So she did it, and now, you know, 7 movies, 7 books, what not. Everybody knows J.K. Rowling. So that is all, you know. See, it's all reaching out to you. You know, sometimes the higher faculty is dream. There is a, you know, today what we do, morning wake up, what we do? We read newspaper, we check Facebook, we do this, that. If you go to the tribal people, some tribes, every day morning they discuss their dreams. You know, because it is coming from your unconscious. What is the message? What is it delivering to you? Where is it pushing you? You know, did you have a good dream? Did you have a bad dream? You know. So, most of the people, scientists, their usual working time is in trance time, like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, late night, because that is when they begin, that faculty begins to operate. That is when the acceleration is expressway, you know. So if you are too much into logic, you cannot get into any of these places. So that is the idea, you know. One of the key outcomes is that if you have the ability to dream, then it is like you will go places. If you have lost it, then possibly you are losing your life, you know. So one of the key distinctions of what NLP brings, and when we study people who dream, some people dream freely. Some people dream. Some people dream with a problem. So what is the difference?
Problem has a limitation, but problem has no limitation.
Like for example, somebody could say, what is your dream? At all costs, we want to have a child. So what is this statement? Huh?
There's a cost to have a child.
The dream is to pay all the cost for the child. So the trouble is, what? The experience is not allowing them to dream freely. Somehow it has curtailed them. Somehow they are feeling it is hard work to have the child. The future is an empty slate. Somehow this past is pushing them into the future. And then it is saying that the future is going to be the past. And so they are not able to disconnect. And when you project it into the future, that becomes your past. So that is why every day to take bath, to become fresh, outside is okay. And inside also we need to take bath. And that is where the meditation comes in. Is there a day when you just sit and you don't think of anything? And that day you are fresh, And then you come back and say, okay, what is it going? You have a fresh look, So this ability to dream, some people have lost it, some people have it, and like that. Okay, so we will take some little time to just chit chat. Share one of your dreams. Let's see. Who's saying, oh, I'm ready? Or somebody saying, oh, we'll see. And then look at their face when they are saying this dream. Is it really connecting to the way they are? Or are they really saying, oh, full of snow? The middle of it, we are walking, are they, really kind of, getting connected to them, So we'll just see. So go on.